Hello there, Kevin here with another episode of the Feel Good English Podcast, the only English learning podcast on planet Earth that is not only helping you become more fluent in English, but more fluent in life as well. Teaching you lessons based on personal development, being better at business, and being a better human being. That's different, yes? My first question for you is, what's up? How do you answer that very common question? Well, you repeat it back. You'd say, what's up, Kevin? Anyway, some more questions for you. When you have an idea about doing something you know would be valuable to your life, do you often stop and think about it, then end up not doing that something? Let's say you think about calling someone you haven't talked to in a long time. It seems like a good idea for a second or two, but then something inside you stops you from doing it. You come up with means to create. You come up with a reason for not calling that person. And so you don't call them. This happens a lot. It happens to me a lot. There's a voice inside my head that keeps me from doing what's important. Does this happen to you? Well, unless you're completely controlled by impulse, if you're totally impulsive, it does happen to you, I'm sure. According to the author of a book called The 5-Second Rule, the author's name is Mel Robbins, the secret to being more confident and successful comes down to making the right decision in the 5 seconds after you have an idea. You can't let those 5 seconds kill your dreams. Sounds a little intense, but after this lesson, it should make more sense. So anyway, I'm going to use a video of Mel Robbins, the author of the book 5 Seconds, to teach you the concept behind this 5-second rule, and also teach you some English used in the video, some advanced English stuff. So I'll play a bit of the video, listen to that, then I'll talk about it a bit. So listen to me too. And as always, if you want to benefit from this lesson the most, repeat it as much as possible. The more, the merrier. Before I do get into the lesson, I want to let you know that I send out a weekly email as well, filling this email with a little motivation, a little knowledge, a little fun, and at times a little education as well. Want to get that email? Just go to www.feelgoodenglish.com and sign up. Look for the bear. He's there to help you join Feel Good so you can feel good too. Now let's learn about the 5-second rule from Mel Robbins.
I'm going to teach you, though, the very, very simple way to get what you want. There's only one rule when it comes to productivity. There's only one rule when it comes to success. There's only one rule to getting everything you've ever wanted. And here it is. You're never going to feel like it. Ever.
So she's going to teach you the one thing you need to know about productivity. She uses the phrase, when it comes to. When it comes to productivity, when it comes to success, which means when considering. So when it comes to, when considering something, it means when considering that thing. When it comes to fitness, for example, you need to consider, and that and then whatever you think is important about fitness. There are a million views on fitness. When it comes to becoming fluent in English, you need to stop learning boring English lessons and start living your life through English.
In any area of your life that you don't have what you want, whether it's the amount of money, the amount of people on your team, the amount of sales, the amount of trips for your family, if you only did the things that you don't feel like doing, you'd have everything you've ever wanted. Those areas where you're happy, you do the work. Those areas where you're complaining, you don't feel like it, so you don't do it.
One of the most important things she talks about here is what we feel like doing. To feel like. To feel like doing something is to have the desire to do something. Maybe you feel like eating a pizza. You want to have the desire to eat a pizza. You feel like eating pizza. Maybe you don't feel like going out tonight. You want to stay home and watch movies and stuff your face with popcorn on the couch, the sofa. You might know this one already, but knowing how to use feel like is really important. It's used all the time. So even if you don't feel like using the expression to feel like, you must understand how it's used. So let me ask you now, if you could do anything at this moment and money or time wasn't an issue, what would you do? It could be anything. For me, I think I feel like flying to Spain, Barcelona, and sipping wine and eating cheese by the beach. I've never been there. Sounds like a lot of fun. That's what I feel like doing right now. And you? What do you feel like doing right now? Think about it. And tell me what you'd like to do. Speak your answer out loud now. Oh wow, that sounds like fun. I think I'll join you.
So it's a lot like kids. If you think about it, what's your job as a parent? It's to make kids do the things they don't feel like doing so they can grow up and move out and become independent adults. And the funny thing is, when you grew up and moved out, your parents never said to you, guess what? You are a total pain in the rear end. You never feel like doing anything. You don't feel like doing your homework. You don't feel like going out. You don't feel like making your bed. You don't feel like saying hello to strangers. You don't feel like using your manners. You don't feel like cleaning your room. Good luck to you.
So there's a lot of feel like or don't feel like right there. She says a parent's job is to force kids to do what they don't feel like doing. It makes sense, right? If you're parent, mother or father or both, always make it easy for you and don't force you to do things you don't want to do, you'll grow up to be someone who always wants to be comfortable, always wants the easy path. And if you listen to my podcast, you know that always taking the easy, comfortable path won't help you achieve the life of your dreams. You have to do things that you don't feel like doing every day. And speaking of growing up, the speaker in the video uses a couple phrasal verbs here. To grow up is used for people to get older. Different than grow. Grow up is used when you are talking about, like I said, people. More specifically, when children become adults. If your friend is acting immature like a child, you'd say, come on, dude, grow the hell up. Grow up. Stop acting like a child. And another phrasal verb here, to move out. To move out means to leave a house or apartment permanently. I guess you could move out of a city or a town as well. To move is just about going from one place to another. But when adding out to move out, it means you are going to stop living somewhere. Maybe it's the first time you're leaving your family's house. You'd say, I'm going to move out of my parents' house after I get married. Or you could say, my roommate is a complete disaster. She's dirty, loud, and doesn't help pay the bills. I need to move out ASAP. ASAP, as soon as possible, by the way.
You've learned a ton about the brain now. The brain is going to screw you over. The brain is going to go into autopilot. The brain is going to tell you it doesn't feel like doing things. It's trickery. You now know that. So how do you be effective with yourself knowing that you're never going to feel like doing all the work that it takes to have this business be everything that it possibly could? So you're going to use the 5-second rule. And what that means is this.
Our brain doesn't like change, doesn't like staying in uncomfortable situations. And why would it? Our brains try to keep us safe and comfortable, which makes a lot of sense. Trying to keep us comfortable makes tons of sense. But because of this tendency for our brains to keep us safe, it can consequently make us less productive, less effective with life. It stops us from taking risks. She says it can screw us over. To screw over, a phrasal verb, means to cheat someone or ruin their chances in a game or other situation. Let's say you're playing soccer with some friends. Your friend chooses the teams and puts you with the bad players, like me. I'm a terrible soccer player. I grew up playing sports where I used my hands, not my feet. American football, basketball, baseball, all those American sports. But your friend puts you on the team with the bad players. He screws you over, hurts your chances of winning. Or at work, your boss gives you a project on a Friday that must be finished by Monday. Now you have to work on the weekend. He totally screwed you over. Now your turn. When was the last time someone screwed you over? Someone screwed you over. Think about it. Now tell me about it. Say, Kevin, the other day, this person screwed me over because they did something. This person screwed me over because they did something. Now, tell me who screwed you over and why. 1, 2, 3, go. Damn, that person sucks.
From the moment that you have the idea, I should email out the fall collection. I should go through the contact list for my college or university and reach out to people. I should go through my contact list and invite 23 people this week to just take the dogs for a walk. I should make a request of a friend and ask if I can come to a presentation at lunch at his law firm. From the second you have that idea, you've only got 5 seconds to take action. Otherwise, it's gone.
So here's the big idea, the solution. From the moment you have an idea, you have 5 seconds to act before your brain tries to prevent you from doing something, prevent you from doing. Important grammar structure. That's it. And I'm sure you have experienced this before. You think of something, wait more than 5 seconds, then talk yourself out of doing it. You talk yourself out of doing it. You waited too long. That's it, 5 seconds. A simple solution that can change your life. Have a big idea, act on it before the 5 seconds is up. And a thought I had, and you might also think, well, what if I act on everything I think of doing? I'd be like an animal with no discretion. What I think is that sometimes we don't need to act fully, going all in. Sometimes maybe just taking the first step, one little action is enough. So you have an idea of quitting your job, finding another job. You don't need to call your boss in the next 5 seconds and say, I quit, go screw yourself. But you could, in the next 5 seconds, search for websites that post jobs. Start by signing up for notifications from job sites so you can start looking for other jobs. That would be a reasonable 5-second action. Or let's say you see an interesting English course online. As soon as you see it, you have 5 seconds to buy it, so buy it right now. No, don't do that. But a good action would be to maybe email the creator of the course. Ask him doubts you have about the course. Don't hesitate more than 5 seconds on doing that. So not being foolish, meaning making dumb decisions all the time, but taking the next step within 5 seconds if it is a big decision. Now, calling your mom, that's not a big decision. So when you think of that, do it within 5 seconds. Make your mom happy. And that's it for today's lesson, the 5-second rule. Here's my action step for the week. You can follow along if you want. You know what the snooze button is? That's when you extend your alarm time. The alarm goes off, but you push the button that makes it turn off, but only for 10 minutes or so. Then it will go off again. An alarm goes off. It gives you 10 more minutes, or sometimes you push it 10 times, sleep for another hour or two. But this week I'm going to use the 5-second rule. After my alarm goes off, I have 5 seconds to jump out of bed before my brain tells me to stay in bed, stay comfortable. Let's do it. Start the day off right, choosing the energizing path instead of the comfortable one. If you want a transcript to this episode, you can get it at feelgoodenglish.com. Become a Feel Good member and get transcripts to this and every other episode of the podcast. You'll also be supporting the show. And that's nice. Thank you for that. And until next time, choose wisely, but choose quickly. Don't let your brain trick you into being comfortable all the time. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.